Alright, now for the tricky part that most of you have probably been wondering about. How we sew this seam. So we have this leg sewn on the other side here. And we have it, I kind of trimmed the edge already. And notice when I trimmed the edge over here, I left a little bit. It's always good to have a little bit of excess. Helps you maneuver things. So what I did is I cut it all the way up to here, right there. And what we are going to do is simply fold this over. See that? Now, of course, it's you're probably seeing, oh, that looks pretty kind of tricky to align. That's why we have to use our pins here. Use our pins to align things. You might want to make this a little bit lower. But always put the pin, even on the facing side, always put the pin on this edge and make sure the pin goes, make sure the pin folds this way to make sure this little corner comes down just far enough so it actually meets the other side. Otherwise it'll be a little way up here and you'll have a gap there when you try to actually sew it. So make sure you have this pin pulling this corner down as well as on the facing side. And it won't be too perfect. You can't get perfection here again, but you can make it pretty close. So there we go. You'll just start sewing right here, and just kind of sew along. Try not to sew on top of the needle, and also pull it out just along as you go until we meet there. You might want to sew just a little bit past that just to make sure there are no alignment issues. I mean, maybe it won't be perfect here. Oh well, it's fairly close. Okay. Let's see here. I think there's something I'm forgetting. No? Yes. You might want to reduce your stitch length here, just because this is a tricky seam. So you want to make sure you get this sewn on fairly well. You certainly would not want it to bust open. Okay. Here we have the other leg, and the front leg sewn together. And I have not trimmed this yet. Next up, what I find to be the best thing to do is to sew the underbelly piece to the side piece after I get the leg sewn. And what I do is I sew on this side. It seems to help align with the underbelly better. I have in the past tried to sew on the underbelly side, but usually it doesn't turn out too well. You just cut this a little bit here, not too close, so you have a little bit of, you can actually move this aside some more. Then you just align that with the pins, pin it together, sew it. And also, for this side, wait, let's get things together here. Here we are. Side, underbelly. Just line those up. And with this, you may have some more interesting alignment issues. Here again, notice that this is straight, this is curved, obviously. When you pin, here again, pin and pin a little bit further back away from this seam here. to try to ensure a better alignment. You'll have to experiment, you'll have to mess with it, you'll have to see how you sew and how you pin, they correspond, and the pattern. Once you get used to sewing a certain pattern over and over, you get used to it. This is a new pattern for me, so but it's turning out all right. I mean, I'm not sure how it will turn out stuffed, but we'll find out soon enough. You may already know. So let's continue with this side. And after we sew this underbelly to here and this side, the underbelly here, we will proceed. Here we go. We will proceed to the other side. Here again. Sew this leg to the side right here. Oops. Okay. There we go. Sew this leg to the side. And sew like, oh, I got the wrong side. Pardon me. Wait a minute. Here we go. Here we go. Sew these two sides together. And here again, this side matching up with this side. And we have already covered this crazy seam. Then sew the front legs, both of the front legs together. I know it looks really strange just being out here. It's all sprawn out and half sewed together. You will get used to it. Here we go. Sew the underbelly, side to the underbelly, right here. And then of course the neck underbelly to the other side. And then here again, we will, as we did with the head, we will sew a seam, or not really a seam, just thread. We'll just sew along this all around through the underbelly and to the other side. So we will have a guide when we start our hand sewing. All right, let's get started some more.